Here's a disturbing fact. Over 65% of students globally report feeling completely disengaged in school. Not because they're lazy, not because they're unintelligent, but because no one ever taught them how to actually think. And here's the wild part. Most of their teachers weren't taught either. Think about that for a second. You spend 12 to 16 years inside a classroom and walk out without ever being given a framework for critical thinking. You were handed facts. You were handed formulas. But the one skill that determines your success in career, in relationships, in life, completely skipped. So today, I'm going to fix that. And I'm going to show you a framework backed by educational psychology since the 1950s that most people have never heard of. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, the way you process information will never be the same. Let me ask you something. Think back to school. When you were choosing your subjects, were you genuinely excited? Or were you just picking the best of a bad bunch? If you're honest, probably the second one, right? Here's the thing. When we're young, we don't have a strong reason for learning. We haven't yet figured out who we are or where we're going. And because of that, school often feels like noise, not signal. But here's what no one told you. There is a direct chain reaction between how well you know yourself and how much influence you have on the world. Let me break that down. The more you reflect, the more self-aware you become. The more self-aware you become, the better you manage yourself. The better you manage yourself, the more you understand others. And the more you understand others, the more valuable and influential you naturally become. This isn't self-help fluff. This is the foundational logic of Bloom's taxonomy of educational objectives, one of the most important frameworks in the history of educational psychology. The framework. Between 1949 and 1953, a psychologist named Benjamin Bloom developed what he called the Taxonomy of Educational Objectives. It was a hierarchy, a roadmap for how human beings move from simply absorbing information to truly mastering it. And it has 6 stages. Here's how to use them in real life. Stage 1. Ask yourself, what's happening here? Before you react, before you agree or disagree, pause. What is the core idea being presented? What is the principle underneath it? Most people skip this entirely. Don't be most people. Stage 2. Ask yourself, why does this matter? Think of it like a GPS recalculating. You need to understand why an idea is being shared before you can evaluate it fairly. Is it challenging something you already believe? Good. That is where growth lives. Stage 3. And this is where it gets powerful. Ask yourself, what am I not seeing? Our brains operate inside what psychologists call a paradigm, a mental box built entirely from our past experiences. The danger? We often reject new ideas simply because they don't fit inside that box. Bloom's framework forces you to look outside the box before you decide. Stage 4. Reevaluate. Ask yourself, how else could I interpret this? Here's a pattern interrupt for you. Most people think critical thinking means being skeptical. It doesn't. True critical thinking means staying open while still being rigorous. Ask yourself, is there another lens through which this idea makes sense? Stage 5. Apply. Ask yourself, how can I actually use this today? Knowledge that never gets applied is just trivia. This stage is where the academic meets real life. How does this idea change your behavior, your decisions, your relationships? Stage 6. The highest level of thinking, and the one that separates consumers from yourself. What can I build from this? Take the idea, expand it, add your own insight, share it. Because when you teach something, you truly understand it. Here's your challenge. Don't just watch this. Take one of these 6 stages and apply it to the very next piece of information you encounter today. A podcast, a book, a conversation. Run it through the framework. Because the world doesn't need more people who can memorize. It needs people who can think. And now, you know how. If this hit different, smash that like button and share it with someone who needed to hear this today. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next briefing.